Hello and welcome to the channel Learn and Heal. Today we are going to discuss about another part of the chapter Basics of Assessment. So here we are going to discuss about the role of assessment in learning. We'll see the simple meaning of assessment. In class, assume you teach one particular topic to the student. After that, definitely you wanted to check whether the student is understanding it or not, right? Yes, simply we can call this as a kind of assessment. So you are checking whether your student is able to understand the topic what you have taught them just now. This assessment can be like conducting the exams, small portion examinations, or asking questions randomly to the students, or you can conduct the seminars. So, by doing all this, you will be getting a clear idea. Okay, the student is able to understand or able to follow the teacher in a correct way. The assessment plays a major role in how a student is learning and what is their level of motivation to learn, and of course the assessments play a major role in how a teacher is teaching. Basically there are three kinds of assessment: assessment as learning, assessment for learning, and assessment of learning. We'll be discussing about these three in detail. The first one, assessment as learning. It is better for the students. This assessment is better for the student. It helps the student to adjust and advance in learning. Assessment of learning help the students to know about their strength and weakness, monitor their own learning and improve further, because by analyzing his marks and everything his performance, he can able to get the idea. Okay, for example, I'm good at chemistry but I am weak in mathematics. So the student is going to do something about that. So student is thinking, what is the skill I need to develop to overcome this weakness in mathematics? So all these kind of things are done by the students here in this part of assessment. It develops in the students the knowledge and skills needed to adapt themselves to the learning situations and bring improvement in their learning. For example, if I say if a student is always coming in the first rank whenever you are conducting the examination, but one time he comes to second or third rank. So what he is thinking is he is considering as a challenge. So he made some mistakes, thereby he got a position that is less than what he was expecting. So what are the mistakes I have committed? He is analyzing that and he is considering it as a challenge and plan his learning accordingly to achieve better result in the next examination. So these all are done by the student itself. Assessment as learning help the students to take more responsibility for the learning and fix personal goal for further learning. That is what I told you. So he is having a personal goal. Yes, I have to come again back to the first rank. So for that, what all the changes I have to do in my studies, my learning process. So you can say that here students develop an awareness of how they learn and uses that awareness to adjust and advance their learning, taking and increase the responsibility for their learning. So in this situation, what I have to do? So if the math is a problem, then I have to do more and more math problems. So this kind of idea will be generated by the student. Then we'll go to the next kind of assessment, that is assessment for learning. Here somewhat teacher involvement is increasing, where the assessment help the teachers gain insight into what students understand in order to plan and guide instructions and provide helpful feedback to the students. If a student is not performing, what all the changes to be done, or if he is good, then give him a feedback to continue this achievement and extend his learning to another level. It is the process of seeking and interpreting evidences for the use by the learners and their teachers to decide whether the learners are where the learners are in their learning or where they need to go and how best to get there. So teacher will be getting the idea whether we have to go to the next chapter or we have to revise that chapter again to make them clearly understand, because maybe sometimes these chapters will be interconnected. If you didn't understand the first chapter, there is no use for you to go to the second chapter. So teacher is making that clear whether everyone got clarity in that particular chapter or whether she wanted to revise that again and again. So this assessment is a continuous process, it will go on. Assessment for learning is the process of improving and enhancing the student's learning. Such an assessment is undertaken through the period of teaching, helping both students and the teachers to know the progress and shortcoming of the students' learning by providing continuous feedback. If you are regularly assessing the student, you can able to understand, okay, this student is having some difficulty with the numerical or some difficulty with the languages. So how this difficulty can be overcome? So these things teacher also can analyze, student can also analyze, and teacher can give a proper feedback to the student so that they can improve their learning. Now we'll be going to the next one, the third kind, assessment of learning. Here, assessment informs students, teachers, parents, as well as the broader educational community of the achievement at a certain point in time in order to celebrate success, plan interventions, and support continued progress. Here comes the examination and evaluation process. So a proper or fine analysis or evaluation will be done, and your marks or grades will be published so that your parent, your teachers, all the education community can analyze your marks and they can come into a conclusion. Okay, what are the ability the student got under this particular curriculum? With the proper evidences, we can show this much time he got to study and this is the score he is having, and also the parents will be getting clear idea about how the student is performing or how the student is progressing in his academics. It is usually held at a defined point during the course of the study. So, like at the end of the unit term or the semester, we can say such assessments are used to rank or grade the students. Assessment of students help in decoding who are all prompted to the next higher class or permitted to the next content unit. So here simply what they are telling, if it is a class wise annual examination, this result of the examination will determine whether the student will be retaining in the same class or student can be promoted to the next higher class. That's it for the session. Thank you very much.